Hey everyone, and welcome to our first lab in Datacom, Lab 1. We're going to have a series of labs that use Wireshark. Okay, Wireshark is a packet sniffer. We're going to learn a little bit about that in this lab. Okay, so the lab has two parts. It has part 1A, okay, which is an intro to Wireshark, and part 1B, which we use Wireshark to study Ethernet and ARP packets. Okay, so what you want to do, the first document, the Datacom Lab 1, okay, so you're going to download all of them, but this one is where you're going to hand in your answers, okay, your answers to the questions that are in the lab. Okay, so all of the questions in Lab 1A and 1B are rewritten in this document. Okay, so you answer them in this, and this is what you're going to submit. The questions are written in these documents that you have to do, Lab 1A and Lab 1B, just to show you where the questions are coming from. Okay, so which part of the lab they come from. Okay, so you're going to download everything and put it in your downloads folder. Okay, so download those. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to open it up. Open up the first. Just going to show you what it looks like. Lab 1. I'll stick it over here. Actually, that's good. Basically, the two parts, two questions, or two parts of the lab with the questions in each part. Okay, you're going to answer these guys as we go through the lab. Okay. All right. So then we need to get Lab 1A. Okay, Lab 1A. These are the questions, and we're going to actually, I'll just stick this over here for now, over top. Okay, and you've got everything already downloaded. So what we need to do is, the first thing, in the first part of the lab is to learn about Wireshark and what Wireshark is. Okay, so Wireshark is a packet sniffer. Okay, and it includes an analyzer. Okay, and a capture components in this software. Okay, and what it does is it captures everything at the frame level. Remember how I'll show you. Remember how packets are encapsulated. Basically, the transport layer is when it travels down the stack. Okay, you slap an IP header on top, and then when it travels down the stack, you put an Ethernet header on, and then it gets put into the physical layer and down. So look, Wireshark and packet sniffers read the entire packet at the frame level, because the frame level contains everything. Okay, and so you have to be able to capture. That's where this packet capture comes in. Okay, and packet analyzer, what it is basically the software knows how each protocol is structured, how the headers are structured, where each of the components of the header are in terms of number of bytes from the start of the packet. Okay, so it's able to read the packets and understand, okay, this is the Ethernet header, this is the network layer header, the IP header, this is the TCP header. Okay, so that's basically what's happening there. Okay, so we're going to be using Wireshark. Wireshark can be used in a number of different. There's all kinds of packet sniffers out there, but this one works with Windows, and I believe it also will work with other operating systems. Okay, I'm using Windows. So the idea here is you have to install Wireshark, and with Wireshark, you're going to get a PCAP application. It's going to be either WinPCAP, NPCAP, or libpcap. Okay, I installed NPCAP. Okay, so let's go here. You're going to go to Wireshark. If it doesn't, by clicking, just copy, Control C, open up your browser. Okay, and just go. All right, and I use this installer here. Okay, I'm going to download it. It's about 60 megs almost. Okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to install everything with default values. Okay, you're going to install everything to the default values. It takes a little bit of time, and most important, okay, once you finish, it's going to ask you. It's going to say that it wants to reboot the computer. Okay, so make sure. Okay, I've downloaded it, and I can double click it, but it's going to ask. I already have it installed on my machine. Okay, so it's going to ask you to reboot the computer. Make sure you reboot before you start using the Wireshark, because it needs to install. I installed npcap. Okay, so it's gonna when we go to the installation. I mean, I can start it, but it's basically going to ask me to reinstall it. So you're going to install everything with the default values, okay, and install npcap, okay, n and then pcap. Okay, so choose that one and make sure that that is installed on your machine, and then critically reboot. Okay, that's the most important thing to making sure Wireshark works when you start using it. Okay, so let's go in. I'm gonna close it. I'm gonna let you go through the steps. If you need to pause the video, go ahead. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to show you the first part of this this lab. Okay, so if you need to pause now, and then when you're ready and you've rebooted, continue. Okay, so once you've done that, I'm gonna go to Wireshark. Open up Wireshark. Okay, and when you boot it up, you're gonna see a list of different interfaces. Okay, now you're gonna look. You see, you're gonna see activity on each interface. Now I have a local area connection. I have different local area connections. I've got VMware network adapters. I've got my loopback adapter. Okay, so where I'm seeing traffic and what I'm using to connect to the internet is Wi-Fi. Okay, so what you're gonna do is however you connect to the internet, that's the interface that you're gonna click. As soon as you click it, you're going to start capturing packets. Okay, so I'm going Wi-Fi because that's what I am. So I'm double clicking, and it is already starting to capture packets from that interface. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I'm just going to go down here. I'm going to show you. All right, we're going to talk about the whole interface, and there's 5 parts to the Wireshark interface. Okay, it's very very simple, easy to use. Okay, you've got your top level menus, which are the ones the main ones you're going to use are capture. Okay, but these buttons are also here. Okay, so there's capture and there's file. Okay, and you might do some stuff in file as well. Okay, these are the main ones, and I'll show you more as we go. Okay, all right. So really, it's start and stop. Okay. There's the Wireshark fin to start, and here I'll stop it for you. That's stop with the red square, and then the Wireshark fin. If you press it, it will start. It'll say, "Do you want?" Because it already took some packets. It's asking if you want to save the packets that it previously captured. I'm going to say no for now. Okay, and just show you the different parts of. See, it's capturing all the packets. So if I push stop for a second, I want to discuss this interface that we have here. Okay, so the different parts. Okay, so we said the top level menus, right? If we go here, command menus, then we have a display filter. Okay, so here's a display filter. We'll use this in a second, but if I see, okay, look, let me give you an idea here. You see these different protocols? This is the protocol. Okay, this column shows you different protocols that it sees, and you recognize TCP, MDNS maybe you recognize. Okay, DNS you'll recognize. There's Skype. Different ones. If I want to filter out for a specific protocol, let's say I just want HTTP, for example, okay, then I'm going to basically enter in a filter, okay, and it's going to select only the ones that I want to select. It's gonna remove these other ones from view. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to write these filters a little bit later. Okay, so anyway, there's these control menus. You've got your filters. Okay, and then underneath here, okay, let's click on. So if we select inside here, okay, these are all of the they're called the packet header details. Okay, actually, sorry, these are the captured packets. Okay, I was reading the wrong thing. These are the different packets. Okay, these are different packets, and they have different types: TCP, UDP, etc. Right? So when we click, let's say I click on it. As soon as I select in this window, I select one of the packets. Okay, it's basically going to break up. In here, you have all of the details of the packet headers. Okay, and the way this works, at the top level, okay, this is the lowest level. Remember in the OSI reference model, the bottom layer, you have that physical layer. Okay, you have the physical layer here. So these are the if you open it up, you could see the the header, okay, for the lowest layer. And remember, the lower layers encapsulate the upper layers. So above the lowest layer, right, above is the link layer. So here's the Ethernet. This is the Ethernet header, okay? And then above that is the IP header, okay? And you can see the different components that we studied in IP, okay? And above that is the transport layer. And this is a TCP packet, so it's using the transport layer, okay? And this is the header for the transport layer, okay? So the lowest layer, right? And then higher layer, higher layer, higher. And that's why we have this packet analyzer, because the analyzer knows the offset, right? It knows how to analyze the packets and say, okay, these bytes or these bits belong to the header at the lowest layer. These bits belong to the header at the next layer up, etc., etc. Now, if you want to look, let's say we go here to the IP layer. If you want to look at the individual bytes, okay, and where they are with respect to the start of the frame, okay. So you see here, when I highlight here, it tells, okay, what bit, what actual bit. Then, now this is in hexadecimal, okay. So it down here, this window, okay, is we call the packet content window, and this tells you the individual bits and bytes in hex format that when you select here, it tells you which bit it actually is corresponding to. So this section right here is the individual hex in hex format, and this is in ASCII format on the right. Okay, so you can read certain things on the right over here. Okay, so now that we've got a little bit accustomed to what the interface looks like, okay, well, let's take a look at Wireshark and take it for a test run. So if you follow these steps, the main thing you have to do is open up a new window. Okay, I'm going to put this, bring this down here. I'm going to resize everything. Okay, move it down here. Okay, now it's asking us, what it's asking us to do here is effectively we want to go to this page, okay, and at the same time, when we're basically going to this particular page, we are going to capture the packet. So we're gonna capture the activity of us going to this particular website. Okay, so if I go here, now this website's going to give us a known bits of data. That's why we're using it in the lab. So I'm gonna copy it. Okay, I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna paste, but I'm not gonna go. Just paste. Okay, I have to start the packet capture. Now start and stop. The fin here, this Wireshark, this blue fin is to start, and the red square when it's running, it'll be red. You click it to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the capture. I'm not going to save the previous one. Okay, so I'm starting the capture, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit go. Okay, now I've gone to the page, and now I can stop the capture. Okay. All right. So now it's basically we've recorded the activity of going to this website. Okay, so the next part here is, okay, how do we set, now we're going to use this filter, okay, because we've got a ton of traffic here, right? We've got all of this traffic that we've recorded in those few seconds, okay? There's a lot of different frames that we record. Now we want to filter out everything except for HTTP frames, okay? So this is when we try to connect to that website. So if we go into here, you see how it shows how to select our filter. We type in HT. Now make sure your caps are not on my caps. It's on before. HTTP. Okay, and push enter. And this will show you the different the frames of when my browser visited that particular website. Okay. Now. So basically, we're looking for the HTTP GET message, and that's this guy right here. Okay, so you're going to go to this guy right here, and we've also got the another one here, not found here. Okay, but we have this one right here. This is the GET message that we're looking for. Okay. All right, so this is the one we want. Okay. All right, and here you see, congratulations, you've downloaded the first Wireshark file. Okay, so now what you're going to do, okay, is you're going to follow the next few steps. Okay. Okay, so look, it's asking us to, by clicking on these guys right here. You see these guys right here? Okay, this opens up the frames to see the details. Okay, so what it wants, clicking on these guys, okay, you're going to minimize the amount of frame Ethernet, Internet Protocol, and TCP displayed. Okay, you can maximize them by going the other way. And it says maximize the amount of information displayed about the HTTP protocol. So when we click here, we want to go to the HTTP protocol right here. Okay, so we're looking at the highest level header. Okay, and you can see in the ASCII, you can see some of the what was there. Okay, what was returned. All right, so then it says, okay, we want this guy. We want to maximize the amount of information displayed about the HTTP protocol. All right, and now it should look roughly as what we see in figure. It's actually the figure below here, figure 4. Okay, I'll change that. Should say figure 4. Okay, the minimized amount of protocol. Okay, so the basic point here now, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to answer the questions from part A. Okay, so I actually didn't repeat them here. I'm going to save this one. So go to part A. Okay, that's up here, and you're going to answer these questions. They're pretty simple, right? When we first downloaded, if we take out this filter, you'll see a bunch of different protocols, right? Different types of, which ones do you see? Different protocols that appear in this protocol column. We have a filter of HTTP, so that's all we're going to get. The next question is, how long did it take from when the HTTP GET message was until the HTTP OK reply was received? All right. Well, I haven't gotten one of those HTTP OK. Okay. I got error. I got 404 not found in this one. But anyway, the main point here is, even if you get this, it doesn't really matter. There may be a resource that was not found. We can actually go in and look at these details if I open it up a little more. So there's a 404, but I didn't get a 404 down here, so I'm not sure why that is. But basically what we're doing here to figure this out, how long did it take, okay, before, even if it was not found. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to look at the time difference between here and here, right? So this is when we sent the message, and this is when the message was received. Okay, so this is the amount of time in seconds since the tracing began. So this is the 2 seconds after the trace began, I went to the website, right? And then this is 2.815 seconds I got this not found, or you might get an OK. Okay, something might be with my connection to there. All right, and so you're gonna just take this minus this in. Now take a look. It's in seconds. Okay. All right. So you might want to report it in milliseconds. All right. All right. So this is effectively the round trip time. That's the round trip time. When you sent the message to when you receive back, that's a round trip. What's the internet address of this guy? What's the IP address? Okay. And then they're asking, what is the internet address of your computer? Now, where might you find that? Well, you can see. If you look here, okay, you can see the internet address of my computer. What's the internet address of Gaia? Okay, you can see them here. Okay, you can see the two here on your screen. All right, and then what they want you to do here is copy and paste the two HTTP messages. Okay, to do so, right-click on the Ethernet frame and select Copy All, and then, so we're going to go here. This is just showing you how to report something. So you select the Ethernet frame, and then select Copy All Visible. Okay, so we're going to I'll go here. All right, Copy All Visible Selected Tree Items. Okay, you can do that if you like. Okay, so you can select the different items. So I could go in here and select all the visible selected tree items from here, and I could copy and paste them. Right, copy and paste them, and then put them into Word. All right. Okay, that's the end of the first part of the lab. This is just a very brief introduction to Wireshark.